Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining me again today as I continue my learning journey with this new tuning. So I've got some really simple, easy, jangly, beautiful stuff to share with you to remind you of the tuning. 4 of the strings are same as standard tuning. So our top string E, our second string B, exactly as you'd be used to. The third string we're tuning up a semitone to G sharp. So if we just look at the top 3 strings, that's an E major chord. 4th string we're tuning down a semitone to C sharp, but the 5th string and the 6th string are exactly the same as standard tuning. So the 3 thickest strings are an A major chord. I haven't Googled or looked it up. That's not how I like to learn. I like to learn by exploring myself, getting a feel for it myself, doing some loops, noodling, playing around. And then when I've done quite a bit of that, then I'll go and see what Google has to say. So I've never even heard of this tuning. I just call it E over A because it's an E chord on the top 3 strings and an A chord on the bottom 3 strings. And I'm not trying to present as an expert. I'm just sharing my learning journey. I hope some of you are joining me. Let's get straight into it with our guitars in hand. Grab your guitar. Here we go. Absolute easiest. If I just put my first, push my finger down on the 1st fret of the 3rd string and think of this as an A chord, I'm going to pluck 5, 3, 2, 1. Switching to an E chord, 6, 3, 2, 1. That's really, really simple. Like if you're a beginner, I'm trying to persuade beginners that they can try different tunings and find really easy things to do. It's not like, oh, I'm a beginner, so I shouldn't go to new tunings until I'm really experienced and knowing of everything. In fact, it's even easier it levels up things up. For someone who's an accomplished player, when they go to a new tuning, everything's new and different. It's like taking a backward step. Oh, I suddenly don't know where things are when I used to know where things were. If you're a beginner, you don't know where things are in whatever tuning. So you might as well try lots of new tunings while you're on a level playing field, if that makes sense. Before I forget, I'm trying to build my channel. Please like, subscribe, comment. It really helps me and my channel. Thanks so much. Straight back to it. Just strumming the La is fairly pleasant. And I think of it open as very much as an A chord. So I'm going to start from my A string and the harmonics are suddenly delicious. So what's going on there? Let's unpack a few things there. As I say, I see this is an A chord. It's an A major 9. So playing harmonics at the 12th fret. Lovely jubbly. 3 thickest strings are the chord of A major. 3 finished strings are the chord of E major. If that's an E, then that's an F. Sorry, I was plucking 4 strings there, 3 strings. If that's an E, that's an F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A on the top strings, A on the bottom strings. So A major. We've got E and A, so is the 1 the E and the 4 the A, or is the A the 1 and the E the 5? Well, you can play with both. What I seem to be falling into is having A as the 4. So if that's my 4, that's my 5. So I've got 1. Now, it's a 1 chord, and we've got the first, like the root note on the top string, 5th on the 2nd string, and the major 3rd, the G sharp, is on the 3rd string. So if that's a major, and then I want to go to my 6th chord, 2 frets up, which is a minor, then I need to lower the 3rd string by 1 fret, and that's now a minor. So that's 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So all my chords of E major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've now flattened the 3rd, so I've got a flat 3. I've also flattened the 5. So very easy to learn all the chords of E major on top 3 strings. Now let's look at what we've got on a 6, 5, 4. And I'm looking there at the 7th fret of the 5th string. That's an E. So get your E major scale going up and down from there. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Once you got that, octave. Now an octave, you're used to thinking 2 strings and 2 frets, if indeed you knew that. But on here we've tuned our D string down to C sharp, so this is now long. That's an octave. Sorry, I'm saying the wrong things but meaning the right things. So that was an octave before, now it's this. So you can play those octaves. That's where I got that first couple of chords I showed you. So you could just strum all the open strings, leave the rest of the strings open, and explore what you've got. And there's interest to be had there. If I go 2 fingers at the same fret here, that's a major 3rd. Now we're used to this pattern with standard tuning, as in that's a major 3rd across the 3rd and 2nd strings, and then that'd be a minor 3rd across the 3rd and 2nd strings. So what you used to do across the 3rd and 2nd strings, you can now do across the 5th and 4th. So we've got major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, minor, major. Going backwards, major, 8, 7, minor, 6, minor, 5, major, 4, major. add that to the octave of the string on the 5th fret, and we're starting now to look more like chords. So, gosh, we've got kind of chords on the top 3 strings, chords on the 5, 4, 3 strings, going all the way up and down E major and or A Lydian, and they're actually really quite easy to remember. I've been messing around. The other thing I was doing the early hours of this morning, so I was looking at where A, so I was going just the A major scale there that I found. You just fumble around, you find it. And I came up with this. And I was doing some descending lines here. So here I'm thinking more in terms of A major, not E major. 8, 7, 6, 5. So if I keep the other strings the same, go down that. And then I wish I could remember, about 1 o'clock this morning, I was ending up with things like, something like I'm going to leave it there for today. I'll be coming back again. What I think I've shown is that there's lots of there's several, at least 2 different ways to get all the chords in E major, all the chords in A major, which would be E mixed Lydian or A Lydian, and they're quite easy to remember. There's lots of really nice jangliness, and I'm really pleased that I'm going down this route. Really jangly loveliness, being able to play these thirds. On thicker strings. I'm used to doing that on the 2nd and 3rd string, and of course I've got my E major on the top 3 strings, So when I'm playing my E major thirds on the 5th and 4th, big jangly loveliness. There's a lot of just sort of A and E going on, and yet sounding fresh and new because the voicings are different. So yeah, hope a few of you are joining me on this E over A tuning.